What's good, y'all? It's dashon.j back here with another one. Today we diving into head first into the realest truth. Sometimes you got nothing, no money, no team, no motivation, and a mountain of fear. But guess what? You still got to make it happen. For the next couple minutes, we're gonna be breaking down how to push forward when everything is around you stays quiet, and from hustling with $0 to grinding when you're dead tired. I got you. Let's do this. All right. I'll be talking about how I learned to keep pushing when I was broke, so I stayed in alone. I'll lay our practical tools so we can do the same. If you ever felt the urge to give up, stick around because this is the real blueprint for doing it anyway. All right, let's talk about mindset. Why in the world you push forward when you broke, alone, or scared? Because the alternative is staying stuck. Plain and simple, you give up, you stay exactly where you are, or worse, slide back. But if you try, really try, you've got a shot of changing your whole life. Success, whatever that means to you, lies outside your comfort zones. When you're broke or scared, you're already uncomfortable. Use that pain to fuel. That's how your frustration, desperations into actions. Look at a lot of us. We grew up with constant negativity. You can't do it. You're from the wrong side of town. You don't have the right resource. Those voices are strong. But the moment you say, screw that, I'm doing it anyway, you're starting rewriting your story. A strong mind is your biggest weapon. When you train yourself to push forward, no matter how broke you are or tired you are, you're building a resilient that money can't buy. That's the type of energy that changes the game. I remember a time when 10 bucks in my bank account, no backup plan, a dream. Didn't know if I was going to make it for rent. But I decided I'd rather fail going all in than live wondering what ifs. It was brutal, but it taught me that sometimes risk is the only path to reward. Now that we cover that, now that we cover the whys, let's jump into how. Starting with doing it broke. Trust me, I've been there and I got plenty to say. Let's get one thing straight. Being broke doesn't mean you're worthless. It means you gotta hustle harder. Get creative, and make every minute count. In fact, being broke can be an advantage. It forces you to innovate. When you're lacking funds, you learn how to make your own, whether that's bartending, borrowing, or finding free online tools. There's always workarounds. Can't afford a fancy camera? Use your phone. Can't pay for online courses? YouTube is free. You know, the moment you stop waiting for the perfect setup, you start building momentum. Small gigs, old jobs, flipping items online. These might be glamorous, but they keep you afloat while you chase your bigger goals. My friend started hustling by cleaning yards in the neighborhood for 20 bucks a pop. Now he owns a legitimate landscaping company. People will say you're too broke. You can't do that. Keep your head down, hustle hard, and let the results speak for itself. When you're broke, your biggest asset is to the drive. It's your drive. If you got hustle, nobody can rob you of that. I was so broke at one point. I had to sell some old electronics just to afford gas for a job interview. Guess what? I got that job, but I used that same nothing to lose mindset to later branch on my own. Sometimes your last dollar can be the spark that lights the fire. Next, let's talk about doing it tired, because we all been there. Waking up early, staying up late, juggling responsibilities, tired, underestimating. Nothing beats that all consuming exhaustion when you're pulling double shifts, caring for family, or working on a dream after a 9 to 5. Guess what? Tiring ain't a reason to quit. It's a reason to sharpen your focus. I'm not saying never sleep. You need rest. But if you're chilling on the couch watching 10 hours of Netflix, That's not real rest. That's avoiding the grind. Real rest is recharging so you can come back stronger. Aim for quality over quantity. Try micro breaks, 5-minute pauses for deep breathing, quick stretches, or short walks. Keep healthy snacks around. No, I don't mean you gotta go vegan, but a piece of fruits beats candy if you want a steady energy. And water, water, water. Stay hydrated. Discipline is key. If you're building something while you're tired, block off a solid hour, no phone, no distractions, to work on your hustle. Even if it's midnight, do it. Over time, you'll see you'll see the results over time. And I used to come home from late shifts, dead on my feet. I'll still spend 30 minutes researching or emailing potential clients. That 30 minutes a day added up to a few hours a week. Next thing I knew, I had a small client roster. Was I exhausted? Absolutely, but it was worth it. Fear is the biggest dream killer. Fear of failure, fear of success, fear of judgment. It's all in your head, but it feels real as hell. The only solution, move forward. Fear is survival responses. Your brain telling you this might be risky, but if you never risk, you never grow. Learn to recognize fear as a signal that you're stepping out of your comfort zone exactly where you need to be. 1, visualize the worst case scenario. Is it really that bad? 2, recall past wins. You overcome obstacles before, right? 3, take baby steps. You don't have to jump off a cliff. Just climbing down the rocky slope carefully. I love that line. It reminds me that courage isn't the absence of fear. It's action in spite of it. One small move in the right directions can break fear holds. I was terrified to pitch my services to my first potential client, but I forced myself to make the call. I stuttered, I sweated, and I landed the gig and realized fear was just air. The payoff was the other side of the scary moment. Now we cover doing it broke, tired, and scared. Let's talk about doing it alone, because sometimes you can't count on nobody but yourself. We all want a support system, but life doesn't always give us that. Maybe friends bail, family doesn't believe in you, or you move to a new city. Doing it alone can be tough, but it can also build you up in ways you can't imagine. When you got to figure it out by yourself, you learn every aspect of what you're doing. You become the market, the accountant, the creative director, the everything. The knowledge of power. Nobody can take that away from you. Sometimes being alone means no one's messing with your vision. No negative voices telling you it won't work. You have the freedom to experiment, fail in private, and bounce back stronger. You don't have to stay alone forever. As you grow, you attract folks who share your hustle. But in the beginning, solitude can be a gift. It forces you to rely on yourself first. I remember the first time I tried something new, nobody showed up or helped. My circle was busy doing their own thing, so I studied, test, and grinded. Over time, I mastered stuff I never thought I could. That's when people started asking for help. We talk about all these challenges. Next, let's blend it all into one particular steps. Real life hacks keep going when the situation looks impossible. Let's get technical. When you're broke, tired, scared, or alone, you can't just rely on hope. You need practical strategies that can, moving you forward. Divide your day into blocks. Dedicate each block to one specific task, no distractions. If you only have 30 minutes, use it fully. Micro goals like 200 words or a pitch to one client build momentum. Grab a notebook or app, log each day as progress, even if it's small. Sent two emails, did 10 push-ups. That sense of accomplishment keeps you going. Losses are lessons. Write those down too, so you learn to move on. If you're alone physically, find virtual communities like LinkedIn, groups, YouTube comments, specialized forums. You can exchange advice, get feedback, and maybe land the opportunities. Don't underestimate the power of online crew. Cut back on mindless scrolling, unnecessary spending, toxic relationship. Every bit of energy, money you save goes into your hustle. You gotta want it bad enough to say no distractions. I used to spend hours on social media. One day I realized I could use the time to perfect my craft. I cut my scrolling in half, and I suddenly had an extra hour to grind. That hour turned into real progress. We're almost at the finish line. In our last segment, I'll bring it all together: how to maintain the fire long term, and a call to action for you to set up. We spent almost I would say like 8 minutes talking about almost 8 minutes talking about how to do it broke, tired, scared, or alone. Now it's on you to take these ideas and make them real. You might be thinking, I'm still overwhelmed, but remember, being overwhelmed means you're about to grow. Look, the world doesn't owe you anything at all. People aren't gonna hand you success on a silver plate. If you broke, you gotta hustle. If you're tired, you gotta manage your energy. If you're scared, you gotta push through. And if you're alone, you rely on your one person you can always count on, and that's yourself. That's how you win. Now, I want to hear from you. Comment below, and with one thing you're gonna tackle this week. Even if you had zero resource, no energy, or you're terrified, let's build a chain of reaction of actions. Like, subscribe, share, do whatever you got to do to keep the momentum going. It's time to go all in. No money, no support, no energy, no fear. Make it happen. I appreciate you riding with me for these few minutes. Now, let's turn it talk into action. I'm out. Peace.